Ladies and gentlemen, after weeks of silence, mystery, and online chaos, Lil Durk has finally broken his silence. And let's just say, his response isn't what anyone expected. The internet has been in shambles ever since those leaked messages allegedly between Durk and Kingvon's mom hit the timeline. The screenshots, the timestamps, the so-called deleted files, it all painted a picture that had fans questioning everything they ever believed about OTF, loyalty, and the bond between brothers. For days, Durk stayed quiet. Not a word, not a post, not even a reaction. But tonight, that silence shattered. In a live stream that's already being clipped, remixed, and reposted everywhere, Lil Durk looked straight into the camera and said the one line that flipped the whole narrative. "Y'all don't know the real story." Those 6 words hit like a grenade. Fans were stunned. Supporters felt vindicated. Critics called it damage control, but according to insiders close to the situation, this wasn't a PR stunt. It was personal, because behind that calm tone and tired face was a man ready to tell his side. Not filtered through blogs, not twisted by rumors, but straight from the source. And if what Durk's saying is true, everything we thought we knew about those leaks might be a lie. Stay tuned, because this isn't just a response. This is retaliation. The live started with nothing but a grainy camera feed and the sound of deep breathing. For almost 30 seconds, Lil Durk said nothing. He just looked at the screen, face dimly lit, eyes locked, scrolling through comments flying up faster than anyone could read. Then finally he spoke. "Y'all don't know the real story," he said quietly, but with enough weight to make the whole internet freeze. In that moment, every viewer knew this wasn't going to be another denial, another PR statement, or a half-hearted explanation. This was something different. His tone wasn't defensive. It was personal, almost hurt. For weeks, the internet had torn him apart. From the leaked messages that Kingvon's mom, Tasha, had allegedly dropped, to the supposed audio files that followed. The story had painted Durk as the villain. He tried to erase Von's name, people said. He profited off pain, others claimed. Every leak added more fuel to the fire, and every silence from Durk made it worse. But tonight he finally decided to talk. "You know what's crazy?" Durk said, shaking his head. "I kept quiet because I wanted to keep it real. I ain't want to go back and forth with a mother that's still grieving. But y'all got it twisted. Y'all think I'm the reason her pain exists." That line hit hard. The live chat exploded. "He's talking about Von's mom. Finally he is speaking. Too late, bro." Thousands of comments shot across the screen, but Durk kept going. "I ain't delete no messages. Ain't no secret. Ain't no cover-up. What y'all seeing online, that's edited, that's fake. People trying to make me look like a snake, because they can't stand seeing me winning without him. They don't understand what I lost that night too." And just like that, his narrative flipped. For months, the internet had forgotten. Von wasn't just another artist under OTF. He was Durk's little brother in every sense that mattered. The man he built music with, fought beside, and watched blow up. His loss wasn't a tabloid headline. It was a piece of Durk's heart ripped out in public. Behind the scenes, sources told Spillora that Durk had been planning this concert for weeks. One insider claimed he wanted to speak earlier but was advised to stay quiet until the lawsuit and FBI rumors cooled down. He didn't want to make it worse, the source said. But the more he stayed quiet, the more people started believing lies. It ate him up, and it showed. The Durk in this live wasn't the rapper, the millionaire, or the brand. It was the man. Voice cracked, tired eyes, hands fidgeting as if he was replaying memories he didn't want to relive. He continued, "I tried to reach out before. I texted her, I called, no response. I even told my people, leave her alone, let her heal. But now I see people using her pain to destroy me. To make me look like something I ain't. That's what hurts the most." Fans started flooding Twitter within seconds. "He's right, she's being used." "Nah, he capping. The leaks are too specific. Why is he speaking now?" The debate reignited instantly. Meanwhile, on another side of Chicago, Tisha reportedly watched the live concert in silence. A close family friend told Spillora she didn't say a word, just watched. Her hands were shaking the whole time. Back on the live show, Durk paused for a moment, staring down like he was deciding whether to keep going. Then he said it, the line that broke every headline the next day. I ain't never betrayed Vaughn. That's blood. We argued, yeah, we fought, yeah, but every real brother does that. But I ain't never turned my back on him, not in life, not in death. The messages y'all saw? Half real, half fake. But what they left out, that's the real story. That last sentence had everyone's attention. What they left out. See, people don't know. Vaughn had plans. He wasn't just an artist. He wanted to run his own thing. He told me he wanted to take OTF and turn it into something bigger. And I was cool with it. I told him, do it. I'll help you. But not everybody in the team liked that. Durk leaned closer to the camera, voice low. That's where it all started. Jealousy, money, control. People started moving weirdly. That's when the messages happened. But the ones you saw online, they cut out half the convo. They made it look like I was hiding something when I was trying to protect him. The concert was so packed that Instagram nearly crashed. Thousands of people screen recorded every second. Some posted clips instantly, editing them with dramatic captions. He said other people were acting weird. Is he blaming OTF? He still protects Vaughn's name. But what really sent chills through fans was when Durk mentioned names without naming them. The same people telling her to post the messages. They are the ones who wanted this story dead. They are using her to fight a battle that ain't hers. For a moment, life went silent. Durk's face tightened, jaw clenched. Y'all think I'm scared of leaks? I got the same messages. I just never posted them. You know why? 'Cause I ain't trying to prove myself to the internet. I'm proving it to God. Then he ended the live abruptly. No outro, no thank you, just black screen. Within seconds, the clip went viral across every platform. YouTubers rushed to upload breakdowns, podcasts aired emergency episodes, and TikTokers clipped the half-real, half-fake line on loop. But what came next was even crazier. A well-known hip-hop journalist released a tweet that shook everything. Durk isn't lying. I've seen the full chat logs. The internet only got half the story, fans lost their minds. Wait, there's more? Who is hiding the rest? What was left out? Overnight, the real story started trending, and suddenly, for the first time in months, the internet wasn't attacking Durk, it was demanding answers for him. Inside OTF, morale shifted. People who had been quiet started speaking up. One producer posted, "He ain't lying. A lot went down that nobody talks about." Another affiliate tweeted, "If the full files ever come out, y'all gon' see who the real villain is." For the first time, the cracks in the old story began to widen. The internet was no longer unified against Durk. It was split down the middle, and while fans tried to piece it all together, Tasha was reportedly meeting with her lawyer to review what she had, because if Durk was hinting that there was more context, that meant one thing. Someone had edited the leaks before she even saw them. What if the truth she'd been shown wasn't the full picture? The morning after Lil Durk's live, the entire internet was on fire. Blogs were quoting every word, YouTubers were breaking down his tone, and even mainstream outlets picked up the story. One headline from XXL read, "Lil Durk breaks silence on leaks. They cut out half the truth." But the real shock didn't come from the media. It came from what happened behind the scenes. It came from what happened behind the scenes. At 9 a.m., Tasha, Kingvon's mom, reportedly met with her legal advisor, Elaine Porter, in downtown Chicago. They were seen entering the same law office tied to Vaughn's estate dispute. Cameras caught her carrying a brown folder. No smile, no emotion, just focus. Later that day, an insider leaked that she was reevaluating the authenticity of certain digital files. That one sentence flipped the internet upside down. It meant there was a chance, just a chance, that the messages she posted weren't exactly what she thought they were. Maybe they were real but altered. Maybe she had been played. Fans started questioning everything. Was Tasha set up? Did someone fake it to keep drama alive? Is there another person behind all this? By evening, conspiracy threads flooded Reddit and X. One post titled, "The Person Behind the Leaks," hit over 1 million views in hours. The theory: a former OTF insider had access to both sides' devices and leaked the messages selectively, leaving out key details that could have changed the whole narrative. Meanwhile, Durk stayed silent. Not a tweet, not a post. He was done explaining himself. But his silence this time felt strategic, like he'd said what he needed to. and now the world had to catch up. Inside his circle, people were nervous but relieved. According to one of his team members, he finally flipped the story. For once, people see he is not the monster they painted. But another insider told Spillora, "It's not over. More stuff's coming and he knows it." And they were right. Because that night, another piece of evidence surfaced, one that made fans question everything again. A small blog called Rap World Files dropped a new screenshot claiming to show the missing half of the conversation. In this one, Durk's messages didn't sound defensive. They sounded desperate. "She gon' believe whatever they send her," one line said. "Tell them to stop playing with old screenshots." The caption under it read, "These are the messages Durk didn't want you to see." The post went viral instantly, hitting millions of impressions in hours. Fans were torn again. Was this the proof he lied? Or another fake leak meant to discredit him? At this point, even journalists were confused. One Chicago radio host said on air, "It's like two different stories playing at once. One from grief, one from guilt, and neither feels complete." Back in Atlanta, Durk's attorney Michael Harrow held an emergency meeting. According to insiders, his legal team had launched a full-scale digital forensics review. They wanted to trace where the messages originated, who sent them, who edited them, and whether any of it could stand in court. "He's not fighting on Instagram anymore," a source said. "He's fighting for data." But the public wasn't waiting for lab results. They were busy picking sides. On TikTok, fans were recreating scenes from the leaks, using real chat bubbles and voiceovers. Some of the reenactments got millions of views. One went viral with the caption, "If Von could see this, he'd be heartbroken." Even Von's sister, Kayla B, couldn't stay quiet. She posted, "He's talking about real story, but don't forget who told you to stay silent in the first place." That single post reignited everything. Fans accused her of throwing fuel on the fire, while others claimed she was confirming Durk's guilt. Behind the chaos, one detail nobody noticed yet was quietly building momentum. A data recovery specialist from Los Angeles, who had previously worked on celebrity iCloud cases, posted a cryptic tweet. "When y'all find out who really leaked those messages, it's gonna change how you see this whole story." Within hours, hip-hop pages picked it up. Who hired him? Did Taysha contact a hacker? Is Durk's team using him to clean evidence? Nobody knew, but the tension skyrocketed. Meanwhile, Tasha finally broke her silence. She posted a short video, no music, no effects, just her voice. "I don't hate him," she said softly. "I just wanted the truth. But now I see everybody has their own version of it." The clip lasted 14 seconds. That was all it took to break the internet again. Comments flooded in. "She knows it was fake." "She's protecting Von's name." "She's tired of fighting." Her tone didn't sound angry. It sounded defeated. For the first time, people realized how deep the emotional wounds really went. But if fans thought that video would cool things down, they were wrong. Hours later, a Chicago podcast released unreleased footage from a 2022 interview with Durk, where he'd said something chilling. "Everybody love you till you stop feeding them." Then suddenly, "You are the villain," clipped next to current headlines. That old quote felt prophetic. People started wondering, was this leak part of a bigger setup? Was Durk the real target? Blogs now ran with that theory. One said, the leaks were a trap. Another, Durk's ex-team member behind the messages. Suddenly, everyone remembered a key player who hadn't said a word yet, Memo 600. Once one of Durk's closest allies, he'd gone quiet after their fallout. But that night he broke his silence with a cryptic Instagram story. "I warned y'all. Don't play with digital ghosts." That post alone brought back every rumor about OTF's inner conflict. Old feuds, secret payoffs, backdoor deals. Fans connected dots that probably weren't even there. "Memo knew! He's behind the leaks. It's all OTF versus OTF." The next morning, a Chicago journalist tweeted, "Multiple sources confirm the leaked messages were passed through. At least 2 middlemen before reaching media outlets. That meant one thing. Someone inside OTF leaked them first, and that's where things turned deadly. Serious. According to one insider, Durk's team had identified the internal leak, a mid-level PR contractor who had access to old message backups. He'd been quietly fired weeks before the story broke. What nobody knew was that he allegedly sold partial screenshots to a blog for $10,000. If true, it meant both Durk and Tasha had been manipulated. Both were victims of a setup meant to make them fight each other publicly, while someone else cashed in on their pain. When this revelation hit the internet, people went insane. One comment under the news read, "They got played by their own people. Von is really gone and they are still using his name for clicks." Another said, "This whole story is dirty. Everybody lying, everybody leaking." For once, both sides, Durk's fans and Von's supporters, agreed on something. The truth was bigger than both of them. But before the dust could settle, a new video dropped that made sure this war wasn't over. A short 15-second clip of Durk surfaced, shot in what looked like his home studio. He looked straight into the camera and said, "Since everybody got opinions, let me show you the receipts myself." And then the screen cut to black. When the screen cut to black, fans lost their minds. Was Lil Durk about to release the real messages? Was he bluffing? Or was this another stunt to control the narrative? The internet froze in anticipation, waiting, refreshing, guessing. Then it happened. Just 48 hours later, a post went live on Durk's official YouTube channel titled The Real Files. It wasn't a song, not a vlog. It was a full breakdown. The video opened with a slow zoom on Durk sitting in his studio, wearing all black, expression cold. No flashy editing, no background music, just his voice and a phone screen recording playing beside him. "Everybody thinks they know what happened," he began. "So here it is. No cap, no edits, no PR, just truth." What followed shook hip-hop Twitter to its core. Durk pulled up his text thread, the original one. He scrolled up and down, showing uncut timestamps, message IDs, even screen recordings from his iCloud to prove they weren't fabricated. The conversation between him and Tasha, Kingvon's mom, was emotional, but not what fans expected. The messages showed Durk begging her not to fall for the bait. One of his texts read, "They trying to get you to post them cropped screenshots, don't let them use you." Another, "I know you hurt, I'm hurt too. I never did Von dirty, not once." And in a shocking twist, the thread revealed someone else had been messaging from a fake account, impersonating Durk, and sending altered messages directly to Tasha. Fans were stunned. For months, everyone had blamed Durk. Now it looked like both sides had been victims of manipulation. Within minutes, hashtags like "The Real Files," "Durk Proves It," and "Apology to Von Mom" started trending. Even people who hated Durk began admitting something wasn't adding up before, but that wasn't the end. Because right when fans thought the story had finally cleared, Durk dropped one more bombshell. He looked straight into the camera and said, "It wasn't just random people behind this. It was somebody close. Behind this. It was somebody close." He paused, eyes heavy, voice low. "Somebody that ate at my table." That line hit like lightning. Fans instantly started theorizing. Was he talking about Memo 600? Or maybe someone from his label team? Reddit exploded with names, connections, and theories. A viral post even claimed one of Durk's former PR assistants had access to both accounts during a 2022 brand deal. And then, hours after the video dropped, Spillora received an exclusive tip. The so-called digital ghost Memo 600 mentioned in his Instagram story? It was real, a third-party tech contractor working under OTF's marketing department. According to leaked internal emails, he'd been paid to archive data. But instead, he copied entire message threads and sold selective edits to gossip pages. When that news broke, everything snapped into focus. The lawsuit, the leaks, the accusations, all of it tied back to one betrayal. By the time the full truth came out, fans didn't know who to side with anymore. They felt betrayed too, not just by the team, but by the entire spectacle. Tasha, meanwhile, made her first official statement since the live performance. "I'm not mad anymore," she said softly. "I was hurt, but if that's what really happened, then I pray for whoever did this, because playing with grief for money is evil." Her words brought a kind of closure, but not peace. Because the FBI rumors were still circulating, In the weeks leading up to this moment, there had been whispers that federal investigators had started looking into OTF's digital communications after money transfers connected to Von's estate came under review. Now that the leaks were proven to have been manipulated and sold, that investigation had reportedly expanded into digital fraud and defamation for profit, which meant the so-called FBI involvement wasn't about the murder. It was about the money, the manipulation, and the leaks themselves. And while Durk stayed silent after releasing the real files, his lawyers were busy filing paperwork of their own, reportedly suing the blog that first posted the fake screenshots for defamation, emotional distress, and profit from falsified communications. Once again, the internet split into two sides: those who felt justice was served, and those who still believed something darker lay underneath. Because just when it looked like the chaos had settled, another video surfaced, this time from a burner TikTok account with a familiar voice, saying, "They ain't show you the voice notes." The clip ended there. No context, no proof, just another cliffhanger in a story that refused to die. Blogs jumped on it immediately. More evidence coming? Voice notes leak next? Who's behind the burner account? By now, everyone was exhausted. Fans wanted closure. Durk wanted peace. Tisha wanted answers. But the internet? It only wanted one thing: more. And even though the Real Files video had brought some truth to light, the one thing nobody could deny was that it opened up a new chapter instead of closing one. Because if someone really had the original voice notes, then this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. As one fan commented under the video, "It's like every time we think we know the truth, another lie shows up." And somewhere in Chicago, Lil Durk was scrolling through his feed, seeing the chaos all over again. Headlines, reactions, theories. He put his phone down, exhaled slowly and whispered, "Y'all still don't know the real story." And just like that, the saga continued. So after everything, the leaked messages, the fake receipts, the confessions, and the so-called truth, one thing's become painfully clear. In this story, nobody's innocent. Not Lil Durk, not the blogs, not even the so-called insiders. Everyone had something to gain, and everyone played a part in twisting the truth. But here's the question that still burns through every fan's mind. If Durk really proved the messages were edited, then who had enough power and motive to pull this off in the first place? Was it someone in his camp out for revenge? Was it an old OTF enemy trying to drag his name through the mud? Or was it all one big distraction from something even bigger still hidden in the background? Because let's be honest, stories like this don't end clean. They fade out in whispers, then explode again with new evidence, new statements, and new betrayal. And if you've been following this ride from the start, you already know one thing for sure. When it comes to Lil Durk, Kingvon, and that inner OTF circle, every time we think it's over, it's just getting started. So tell me this, whose side are you on now? Do you believe Durk finally told the truth, or do you think there's still another layer of this story waiting to blow up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this one might be the biggest twist yet. And if you've been locked in with us through every leak, every twist, and every late-night shock drop, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, what's coming next might just flip everything you thought you knew about this case upside down. This is Spillora, your home for everything raw, unfiltered, and straight from the chaos of the culture. Stay tuned, because this story isn't ending. It's just beginning. It's just beginning.